Namaste and welcome back, everyone. I hope you're all doing very well. In this lecture, we are going to explore and discuss classical Surya Namaskar modifications for pregnancy. I will start off by saying classical Surya Namaskar is an incredibly beautiful practice that has been practiced for hundreds of years in India, and it's still practiced by majority of the population today. I feel very confident saying majority of the population still practices classical Surya Namaskar in the morning. And according to yoga and Ayurveda, in order for us to live the most optimal, healthy lifestyle, there's a certain sequence that we should follow throughout our day. And the morning generally would compose of us rising just before sunrise, going to the washroom, brushing our teeth, scraping our tongue, emptying the system, showering, followed by our exercise, which traditionally is classical Surya Namaskar and yoga, then our pranayama and our meditation. After all of this is done, then we eat our breakfast and we begin our day. So from the traditional perspective, one would also, when they are going to practice this portion of that sequence, they would go outside and they would face the rising sun. So they would turn, they would face east, they would face that rising sun, and they begin with a prayer. They close their eyes and they just feel gratitude and give a prayer to the sun god. Say thank you for everything that we receive, everything that is derived from this powerful sun, the light, the heat, the nourishment. And they give thanks because they know without the sun we would cease to exist. And every movement that they make, every breath that they take while practicing this flow is part of their prayer, part of their gratitude that they're feeling. So it becomes not only a physical practice, but actually a very spiritual practice as well. So it's a really beautiful way to start the day on so many different levels. And this particular sequence is also one in that if you only have a limited amount of time, say 10 minutes, you practice this and it's a full body workout. It's full exercise for the entire body. All the muscles and the joints will be activated and feeling wonderful. All of the systems of the body will be stimulated as well. When you're moving with the correct breath, which is necessary, the mind and body will find that connection with through the breath. So the mind is left feeling calm and peaceful, and you're feeling revitalized, ready for the day. So there are tremendous benefits to starting the day with this practice. Incredible practice. And it is accessible to everyone, and it can be modified for everyone. So it's a brilliant practice that can be modified for pregnancy, hence the reason that we're sharing it in this program. And I'm going to share a couple of different variations that we've come up with that are just very simple modifications. And let this be the foundation from which you begin your creative process and start thinking of new modifications that you can offer. Think about it from the perspective of what you are feeling in the body on any given day, what condition your student might be feeling, and think, what should I offer to address those conditions, to alleviate the symptoms? Think about it from a therapeutic perspective, if you wish. But wonderful base sequence from which you can interchange postures, play, modify, and you will feel fantastic. Your students will feel fantastic. So the first one that I will share is the general modified classical Surya Namaskar for pregnancy. Wonderful for all levels, really. Level 1, 2, second trimester, third trimester. First trimester, if the student is feeling good and they really do want to practice, they could do this very gently, very mindfully, moving with the breath, very slow, rhythmic movements. But as again, we generally recommend less asana in the first trimester, but it's entirely up to your student. It's entirely up to you. If you have that energy and you want to move mindfully, beautiful practice. Third trimester as well. So this first option, great for anyone who's not experiencing any significant conditions. There are no major complaints on any given day, no severe back pain, hip pain, no major joint pain, nausea, vomiting, indigestion. Feeling good. So wonderful. Second variation, we're going to add malasana. And malasana is a wonderful, wonderful addition for a couple of reasons. One, it just feels so good in the body. And, getting into the hips, taking some time to sit in this malasana and just breathe a couple of rounds of breath, soaking in that beautiful opening. Great if the student needs, if you observe that yourself or your student needs to catch up on breath, or their breath is shortening a little bit, put them in malasana. Let them just soak into that, take a couple of rounds of breath, and then make sure that they're moving out on the correct breath. But it allows one to just, settle to ground, feel that beautiful opening, catch up on breath, breathe deep, and then move on. Also great if someone's having, mild general back pain, because it will help, just this relax that lower lumbar region. So wonderful for that. Wonderful if someone is in the third trimester and they're at the end and they kind of want to kickstart everything, get this process going. If baby is in, if baby is in optimal alignment, this will help encourage baby to move down. So it's a wonderful option in the late trimester, provided there are no contraindications. Baby is not in breech condition, no early contractions, etc. So read your manual, please review the manual, review the contraindications for malasana and squatting to make sure that it is okay to offer for yourself or for your student. But if, generally speaking, they are feeling well, they are feeling good, they're looking for that opening, they're looking to relax a little bit or catch up or do some general lumbar pain, amazing option to offer, amazing. The next one I'll show you is omitting downward facing dog and replacing it with balasana. So why would we offer this? A couple of reasons. If your student is experiencing heartburn, indigestion, nausea, excellent to offer this, because we would not want to offer a downward dog, since the head would be below the heart and that could provoke the symptoms, make it worse, aggravated. We don't want that. So going into a balasana, putting a cushion under the head, resting the head on the cushion, very peaceful, relaxed, and it will not aggravate those symptoms. Also wonderful if the student is in the third trimester and they are beyond the point where they should be practicing an inversion, a downward dog. You switch it up with the balasana. Also great if the student is feeling fatigued, balasana. Also great if the student is feeling a little bit of joint pain or wrist pain due to carpal tunnel, for instance, and you want to release the pressure. You don't want to add any pressure to the joints. Instead of going into a downward dog, which might be a little bit too hard for the student at that time, balasana. It's relaxing, it's comfortable. As well, if the student just needs to catch up on some breath, the breathing is not quite there, you want to find that rhythm again, put them in the balasana. A couple of rounds of breath there. Once you notice that everything is good, we're smooth, our heart rate is lower, then we can move on, moving on the correct breath. Always be mindful of that so that we're not creating any tension in mind and body, not inducing a fatigue. So move on the proper breath. So quick recap, incredible practice to work the entire body, to loosen up all the joints in the body, to stimulate all the systems of the body, to connect the mind and body via this full, smooth breath. Beautiful to start the practice. Before practicing that, to start by going through our alignment of Tadasana, making sure we're rooted, we're grounded, we're feeling strong. You have that alignment of the spine, connecting your deep core muscles, right? Then practicing that breath work, that the long, full breaths, so that we have time to warm up the joints, so that when we're practicing the actual movement, the shoulders, the wrists, the hands, the fingers, and the neck have already been warmed up. Tremendous, tremendous benefit to starting the day with this. Accessible to everyone, can be modified to all levels, can be modified for all stages of pregnancy and according to the conditions that someone might feel on any given day. So amazing practice. Highly recommend that we practices, that we modify, that we teach, we offer this, and let this be just the foundation from which you start your creative process and come up with new options and variations to offer either for yourself or for your students. So I will end this lecture here, and we will come back and we'll get on our mats and we'll run through a couple of examples. Thank you. Namaste.